Thursday evening. Welcome everyone to race 3 of season 3 of the L2S community. Welcome to Spain, Barcelona, the Spanish Grand Prix. I'm Seb Bauer. Glad you're with us here tonight for this another entertaining evening of the L2S community. We love to smoke rear tires, and we do that tonight in Montmeló, just on the outskirts of Barcelona. This is a short glimpse on the track. Barcelona, 16 turns, 4.6 kilometers of length. The lap record posted by Daniel Ricciardo, still to that time in the Red Bull. Track difficulty is medium. It's a bit heavier, a bit more difficult than medium. There are 2 or 3 places on the track where you can lose the car rather easily. Here's the assists that can be used. So maximally medium traction control, manual gearbox, all other assists must be off. And this is the lobby, slowly but steadily filling up. We will probably have 17 drivers, not a full grid, but 17 is totally fine, of course. We will see a short quali and then followed by a 50% race distance, what is 33 laps. We have just seen Tier 2 doing it. And congratulations to Desert Rat. He won it. Pole and race victory. Pole position at 1:15.3. But I suppose that 1 or 2 of our T1 drivers can even improve that time, because today, finally, for the first time, it should be the day that Not yet. We see Rayad Zudin. He has finally made it to our lobby. He had some internet connection issues, but made it now into the lobby. I was talking about him and Chris Tam going at it. This was the battle I was looking forward to so much for this season 3. And thus far, Chris Tam was inactive once, Rayad Zudin was inactive both the first races, and now today finally Rayad Zudin has checked in, and now we are missing Chris Tam, even though I think he has checked in. Got to have a look at the check-in, but we are still short at least another driver, so I think it should be 17. So let's just see and wait for another moment what's going to happen. Just having a look into the Discord channel, and the 2 drivers that will miss tonight, that's BMC and Jimmy O. And Rayad Zudin, likewise to Chris Tam, both have checked in, so I hope that Mr. Tam can make it in the next few moments. Yeah, good evening, Mr. Serious Mushroom, our toad, who was unsure if he's racing tonight. I don't know why you were unsure. I mean, Thursday evening. Where else should you be? And one more thing I do have to mention. I will not sing. I will definitely not sing, but let's just say a happy birthday to one of our admins, that is Chappie. Chappie needs to change his gamer tag because now he's not 27 anymore. So maybe in the next season we will see Chappie 28. We will find out about that in the next few weeks and months. So I'm having one eye on the background chat if there is something going on, and as soon as there is a message or as soon as a session timer will start to tick. I will be back with you in hopefully just a moment. And here we go to the Circuit de Catalunya. Sadly, without Chris Tam, who he was the one who caused this 10 minutes delay. If it is for a good reason, then it's okay to wait for a driver. I hope everything's fine for him, so there is no big reason why he is not here tonight. I was so hoping for the battle against Rayad Zorin, and still, yeah, I got robbed of finally streaming the fight between Zorin and Tam. Anyway, maybe in the upcoming weeks. This is, a bit of a sad topic, I got to admit, because sadly it is just 2 more laps, 2 more rounds, 2 more races after this that I will be able to be part of L2S after the next 2 races. I sadly will have to pull out due to real-life commitments. The lockdown in Germany slowly but steadily is getting lifted a bit, and then probably my Thursday evenings will be occupied to real life, at least over the summer. Let's see what the autumn brings. But okay, the qualifying has already started. Weather is fine, fair weather. First one to go out was right in front of us. Let's see who will be the first one. This is maybe Rayad Zorin. Finally, he made it into Tier 1. Rayad Zorin. Why I'm celebrating him so much is the fact that he was dominating the Tier 2 in the last season like hell. He was pole setter for almost every race, and he totally deserved the Tier 2 championship then in the end. The only thing that got into his way was sometimes his internet connection. That was sometimes the reason why he had troubles, why he dropped out, why he dropped behind in the races. And that is likewise the reason why he has not been with us for the first 2 races. But now everything looks better for him. I had a close eye on his connection icon in the lobby, and it was steadily green. So, yeah, I sincerely hope for this guy with the galactic helmet that he will be steadily with us. He is viciously fast. Can he still be part of the championship race? We will have to find out about that. For the moment, now he'll start on the first hot lap. I always have this little bit of tradition that I ride on board with the first guy on the hot lap to get a feel for the track, and he has already invalidated the lap time here in exit of turn 1, beginning of turn 2. I mentioned it, he is a monstrously fast qualifier. Let's still stay with him for this lap here at the end of sector 1, beginning sector 2. And upcoming, here's the first track position where you can very easily lose the car. Here's the sweeping right-hander, blind right-hander. You must have a lot of trust into your car. This is turn 10. This turn got reshapen in the real life. So as soon as we head to the new game, F1 21, being released midway through July, this turn will be totally different. And he ignores the chicane, comes back to the pits. This was one not so hot lap in Barcelona. Let's jump to the next one. This is official. Lando Bot has already crashed, and I think he did so on Yeah, on one of the positions that I just described to you, where you can lose the car so easily. Turn 8 it must have been. Sadly cannot jump to him, but the first driver that... Yeah, the last driver actually is already set. And official has posted the first lap time at 1:15.1, already 2/10 faster than Desert Rat, Tier 2 pole setter. I think it's always a good thing when the Tier 1 pole setter is faster than the Tier 2, but we did not have that almost the whole last season because Reinhard Sudin in Tier 2 was just so viciously fast. So, what is important for tonight? I already mentioned it. In case you have turned to us a little bit later, happy birthday again to Chappie, one of our admins. That's the big topic for tonight. Further, we have to have an eye on the overall standings because the leader, BMC RB33, cryptic name, but Max Verstappen fan, BMC is inactive for tonight. I will see a new pole setter, SimV, pushing the limits under the 1:15 mark for the first time. Yeah, BMC is not here tonight, BMC inactive for tonight, so that means that we might have a new overall leader when this race is out. Let's have a look at the next one on the hot lap. That's maybe our host Dean Cunha, just brings it to the end, but not in a competitive time on the mediums. Next one, let's have a look what Mr. Slayer is doing. Still on an out lap here. Yeah, BMC is not here. The next in line is official with plus minus 0 with level points. So as soon as official finishes in the top 10, he will be the new leader, a position he hasn't been in since he won the championship in season 1. And then in third we see Slayer, 17 points behind the leading duo. And in fourth, David De Joel, who was here in third. And in fifth, Chris Tam. De Joel and Tam both minus 19 points. Yeah, and BMC, the leader, has 37 points after 2 races. And that's the big question for Reinhard Sudin. I know that he does have the pace in general, but can he be fast enough to make up these 37 points in just 8 races? I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if that's possible. But I think and hope that he will try. Slayer, who has edited his unique livery a little bit, has always been a lot of yellow. Just a little bit more red tonight. Welcome Sydney Chapman. Chappie is going to kill it. I don't know if this is you, Chappie. maybe. So let's see if Chappie will kill it on his birthday, while we've seen Slayer not posting a competitive time, 2 seconds behind SimV. The reason why so many drivers at least try on mediums, let's have a look what Serious Mushroom is doing on the medium. The reason why so many do so and try so is the fact that a one-stop in Barcelona is just so much more quicker, and you just cannot have a one-stop race from soft to hards. And the only way to have a one-stop that is so much quicker is to not start on softs. And we all know the Parc Fermé rule that says that top drivers must start on the tire they have qualified on. So I expect from P11 to 15 everyone to run on mediums. And the top 10, yeah, well, we will see on which tire they will qualify. If you want to start in the pole, maybe even if you want to start in the front 2 rows, you must qualify on softs. Hello, Hamza, good evening to you. Welcome to the chat box. Right now, Casto France and Bellox are the only drivers who have posted a lap time on mediums that maybe be good enough for them to try and start on them, both still sitting in the pits. I suppose they will sit there very long until the very end, maybe until minute 3 or so, and watch what the other drivers are doing. If they still need to go out again, we still see a lot of drivers who are in the pits. Serious Mushroom, by the way, did not have a competitive lap time on the mediums. Aces versus Kings, only driver on a hot lap here right now. And Simvi. Let's see what the Ace will do here at the end of his first hot lap. All red livery, a bit of Ferrari. He is into P6. 1.5 seconds slower than Simvi and even slower than 2 medium runners. He will be a bit disappointed of this lap time, I suppose. Now let's jump over to Simvi, what he is doing in his second try. Second DRS zone here. At the end, there's the end of sector 2 right here. He even found 1.5 tenths. So he slipped there after turn 10. So that maybe costed all his improvements. Let's see if he will still run it to the end. Yes, he does. Have a look, 5,000. He was slower than before. Doesn't matter, still enough time to come back and try again. And all that, just this one little moment, this one little slip in between turn 10 and 11 that ruined his lap. The Ace now has pushed into 5th, improving. He kept running on this tire, and yeah, sorry if I say so, I don't want to be a smartass, but that was not a good idea, I think, because the soft tires are just so soft, so incredible soft, that you just cannot start on a tire where you have run 2 hot laps on. And if he doesn't improve that time, he must start on this lap while we finally see Chris Tam. Chris Tam has joined. I sincerely hope that he can jump into a car and run at least 1 hot lap. Otherwise, he will have to start in last position. And now let's have a short look what Rayad Sudin is doing. He is trying again on mediums. He knows how much importance he lays in the fact to start on the yellow rubber. Meanwhile, Sydney Chapman is the sister of our admin. Hello, good evening to you, Sydney. Nice to see you backing up your brother on his birthday. And yeah, I hope that there will still be enough of time for a little bit of family celebration if you didn't have already. Oh, Frenzy's out. Frenzy is out. Frenzy has crashed in the second DRS zone after the fast blind right-hander. And Rayatsurin is in second. My goodness. Didn't I mention it? Did I promise too much? No, I didn't. Rayatsurin within 2/10 behind Simwi on mediums. Wow. Monstrous great lap time once again from Rayad Sudin. I missed you so much in the last 2 races. Really, really hot lap time from him. Official has tried another hot lap, improved his time a bit, but not enough to pull ahead. And now Chris Tam is ruled to be sitting in his garage. So that means he might have a chance to run. We see now Infamous doing nothing. Lap time got deleted. 3.5 minutes left. So he and some other drivers has to hurry now to get in one more hot lap. I know is this his out lap? I think the game says it's his out lap, so it's not a problem. But in the end, that means he did not even try to run on softs. So the one and only shot from Infamous will be on mediums. 3 minutes left now exactly. If he invalidates the lap time, he will be third last. Jeppy now 11th. Dean Cunha, our host, in P10. Let's stay with Infamous here for a moment. And he invalidated. The minimap is as red as his car. And that's it for him. That's it for him. And now let's have a look at Mr. Chris Tam. His lap time is invalid. I hope that he can run again another one. No, he cannot because he invalidated the lap time in the last sector. It looks like he is out. So he joined but was unable to post a hot lap. So that's maybe already it for Chris Tam here in the quali. Who else is still running? Maybe David De Joel. 1.5 minutes left now. David De Joel just started his hot lap. Serious Mushroom in 8th. Aces vs Kings on an out lap. Ace is called to be on an out lap on the same set of tire he ran again earlier. And in the background, that's Simvi, who slides off. He will not improve his time. Let's see if that will be necessary in the end. Slayer already quits the quali, likewise to Casto France. So Casto, Slayer, Frenzy, Landabout, they are already finished. Chris Tam maybe too. Infamous probably too. David De Joel, I'm not sure what he's doing here. That is not a hot lap. Still has 25 seconds to cross the timing line. So who else could we watch for a moment? Let's just see what Official's doing. Just started the lap. End of sector 2. Improving a little bit. Not much, but enough to build on it. Maybe. That's it for him. Invalid lap time. He exceeded the track limits there in turn 8, I think it was. So that's it for him. His quali is over. Simvi should be finished too. David De Joel not improving at the end of sector 1. Is there someone else we have to watch? Let's have a brief look at Royal Harvey. He'll finish his one and only hot lap now very soon. And then Chris Tam made it. In the end, he made it on a hot lap. after his invalidations, and Royal Harvey up into P2. Very late. He needed just one hot lap try. That was very risky from him, but he made it, and he made it in style. Just half a tenth behind Simwi. Simwi, our pole setter, that is already safe to say. Then Royal Harvey and Riyad Sudin in third. Riyad Sudin, I think, posted another hot lap. That was on softs. Then, at least, the softs are next to him. No. Riyad Sudin will start on mediums. There you see it. The session will end here on board with the P2 Royal Harvey, and we will now have a look at our starting grid. This is it. Simwi, the pole setter. Then Royal Harvey, the only two drivers who managed to stay under the 115 mark. In third, on mediums, Riyad Sudin. In fourth, official. Fifth, Chris Tam. Sixth goes to David Dejoel with mediums. Castro France 7th, Slayer 8. Aces versus Kings must start on his old soft set. Cunha 10th, 11th, Serious Mushroom 12, Ballox 13, Infamous 14, Chappie, and no time set once again for Frenzy. So our drivers have now 30 seconds of time to think about their tire strategy. I would like rather to be P11 Serious Mushroom instead of P10 Dean Cunha. Definitely the best strategy, how it looks by now, for Riyad Sudin, but we will find out about that together. I will be back with you shortly. So here we are in lap 0, our warm-up parade lap. It is a sunny day, warm day, and we have 26 degrees air temperature, 33 degrees track temperature. So Spain is known to be a track that eats up tires, and high temperatures is just what you do not want. So the front left will just melt away. The tires for the start, have a look. This is one of the few races where you see more medium starters than softs. Only Simwi, Royal Harvey, Official, Tam, the ace on his very old softs, and Cunha, the only drivers who must start on the softs. Everyone who does not do. And so a lot of yellows and one hearts. It's Frenzy, who did not run a quali lap again. I don't know. He doesn't like qualis, I think. He will start on hearts. I personally don't like starts on hearts because you only have you only have this only one set, and so you cannot have front wing damage on the start. Otherwise, you would have wasted your set of hard compound if you need an early pit stop. So, the 5 red lights, here they are, and then the Spanish Grand Prix. Here we go, 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 start in Barcelona, good start for Simvi. Rayalsudin loses a bit of ground on his mediums, of course, he's under pressure. Oh, and there were multiple tags, left and right, many tags, many front wing damages. The green car, who was the green, that was official was tagged from 2 sides. Lucky he's still with us, and there's a blue car out, that is Royal Harvey lost it completely, but I think he's still with us. He kept the engine running. I think he is still racing with us, but dropped down into the last position, and that will cause a lot of early pit stops now, a lot of new wings. Simvi in first. Rayalsudin could avoid attacks. He did not have the best start because of the tire disadvantage. That will pay off very soon. And interesting early start. Let's have a look who will enter the pits. I suppose everyone who will stop now will stop for medium tires. The first one is Castofrance. He was the first who was part or maybe caused this early chaos. Then official and Royal Harvey, of course. Let's have a look in the telemetry tool. Player 15. Who is player 15? Table is confused now. Need to look it up. Who is called player 15 in our telemetry tool? As soon as we are in the next lap, I can do so. But what I can tell you right now is that Aces versus Kings, who was running on the used softs too much in the quali, I mentioned it, he has already 30% of tire degradation, 31% now on the front left. So that means he will stop in, I don't know, 2 or 3 laps. And just because the softs are just too soft for this racetrack. Royal Harvey, from soft to soft, okay. Will go on his softs. Then we see official who stopped for hards, Castofrance, here in our TV screen on mediums. So, and now we are in lap 3, and now the table is correct. So let's have a look. Simvi is leading from Rayalsudin, from Chris Tam, from David de Joel, and then a bit of a gap to Slayer. First penalty, we'll see a lot of them. First one got handed to Chris Tam. Another pit stop. Landobot is in. Landobot has front wing damage. Yes. So player 15 is Chris Tam. Chris Tam is called player 15. He has a little bit of front wing damage. Downforce wing right, 12% of damage. That was maybe the reason why he exceeded the track limit somewhere, and that got him a plus 3 seconds penalty. As soon as the camera will show us a different angle, we maybe will see it a bit better then. I can't see it. You cannot see it, so not severe enough to make him lose a winglet. He's a little bit jumpy, I think. Here's the view of David de Joel chasing him inside the DRS window. Yellow in sector 2. Yeah, you can see Tam jumping a little bit left and right. This is an unpleasant situation for the driver behind, because you never know, okay, if I attack him, will he jump right into me then? But the advantage for David de Joel is that he's running on mediums, so Tam will be vanished ahead of him very soon as he needs a pit stop. And let me have a look. Chris Tam has already 40% of tire degradation, so that cannot take too long anymore. Then Tam will have to take to the pits. he will just hope and pray for an early safety car phase right now. The two drivers using dark blue livery, they almost look like teammates. And in the lead, SimV over 50% of tire DAG 2. And Aces versus Kings is already turning towards the 50%. So that is right what I mentioned in the quali. He should not have run a second hot lap on his softs. And now the S attack maybe from David Echoel. Yes, he does. He risks it over the Jumpy Tum and made it. Chappy, birthday present, 3 seconds penalty. Another yellow in sector 2. That was Royal Harvey. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Harvey is struggling, probably on heated tires there. He is the next one who will hope and pray for an early safety car phase so that he can catch up to the rest of the field. At the moment, it's actually not a lot of drivers who are in each other's DRS window. Let's maybe have a look at Bellox, who is chasing our host Dean Cunha. Bellox mediums, Cunha in 10th, had to start on his softs, and Cunha already turns to his pit crew after just 6 laps. He needs to shake off his softs. Cunha is in, and that's 46% of DAG. So Aces versus Kings in 2, he is at 55. Both will resume the race on mediums. We see Simwi and Chris Tam, the only top runners who are running on softs. Ooh, dangerous moment for Bellox. Losing a position. Bit of a tag between him and Mushroom when he overtook him. Bellox almost lost his car, was able to catch it, but not before the Toad overtaking him. I had a look into the telemetry tool, so SimV and player 15. Oh, and there was a crash. He has spun. Chris Tam has lost his front wing. There, I can see it. A lot of winglets missing. This is, where is it? Which track position? In the infield. That's one of the turns I mentioned where the car is very light. We can lose it easily, and he did so, and now he turns to the pits. He would have done that anyway soon as his tires are already very much degraded. 56%, 59 even on the rears. SimV now has over 60 of DAG. So Chris Tan does not have a good race thus far. Has a penalty, now needs a new nose. Will drop down a lot of positions here. Yes, Martin South, Tier 2 driver, totally true. Yellow, white, the only way to go through, and we have a VSC. What happened? Chappy happened. Oh, our birthday lad is missing a nose, totally 0 downforce. And Chappy was starting on mediums, so he would not have needed this pit stop. SimV takes an advantage and pits now. He needed to pit in anyway this roundabout this time. He has decided for mediums. He will have to stop again. Everyone still has to stop at least one more time. No one can run to the end from now. But for Chappie, this is a bad moment because that ruined his race strategy. While we see drive-through for Royal Hobby, so another driver with a ruined strategy. And yeah, Chappie medium to medium. He was supposed to run a lot longer on the mediums and then turn to hards for a one-stop strategy. That is impossible now. He cannot run to the end on hards right now. So he will probably run on mediums now long enough to maybe have a quick short sprint stint in the end, maybe on softs then. So Rayazudin now in the lead. Rayazudin leading by 3 seconds over this man, David Dichoel. And third is already Slayer, silently crawling up into P3. Official is behind him, official out of the points, BMC not there. So Slayer would make up 15 of the 17 points that he is behind on our overall leader BMC right now. But we're not even at the end of the first third, so still a lot of racing needed to be done here. I feel a bit sad for our birthday admin Chappie tonight. I was really hoping for him to have a great birthday event, but that is don't want to say impossible, but start of the race doesn't look too good for him. Yellow in sector 3, a blue car. Was that Royal Hobby again? I can't tell it right now. And Royal Harvey is, yes, he is out now. He had a drive-through penalty. Then when coming into the pits, he received another +5 for speeding in the pit lane. And that is just enough for him for tonight. And he will park his car in the garage and just step out of it. Royal Harvey needs to watch out a little bit. He was very good actually in the end of the last season. But now, after 3 races, Royal Harvey is still pointless. And you know that what's happening there? Sorry, I'm interrupting myself because official is just so slow. Front wing damage. You can see it here. I was browsing through the telemetry tool and you can visibly see the damage to the official car. And that is a big blow for him because he is already running on hards. Now is the point where you could maybe think about finishing the race on hards, but he has already vanished. He has already wasted his one set of hards. So he doesn't have another set of hards. He must presume on 2 remaining pit stop strategy, medium to medium or medium to soft maybe. Not a good evening for official. I mentioned it, he is level to BMC, he just needs to finish in the top 10 and he would be our new overall leader, but right now he's rather crawling away from the points and he now decided that this evening does not make sense for him anymore. He is out. Chappie comes into the pits here. What's wrong with him? Looks very slow. Didn't see anything about damage for him. And he is out too. Our birthday boy is out. Parking his car in the garage, so... Oh. He's standing still here in a bad spot, actually. I hope that no one will pit now. Yeah, that went rather quickly now. 3 retirements very shortly after each other. Still 13 drivers around, so it's getting likelier and likelier that you just need to finish the race in order to catch a point. Reasuddin still leading the way. He's very comfortable and familiar with his position. His mediums, likewise to David Teruel, by the way, slowly but steadily degrading, while we get the information from the Amazon Web Services that the pit stop window for a one-stop strategy is open now, and yeah, it's not just open, it's heavily needed, because Tsudin and Teruel both are over 60 on tire deck. Infamous, who is battling wheel-to-wheel with Slayer here. Finally, some on-track battle. Did not see a lot of it thus far. Wheel-to-wheel through multiple turns. The two real-life bodies. The two admins, by the way. Battling it out here. Great scene between red and yellow. And in the end, yellow has won for the moment. Next DRS zone coming up. I wanted to say that Infamous is a lot better in treating his tires. Slayer is already turning towards the 60% of tire deck, while Infamous is not even in 50%, still at a high 40. Reasuddin into the pits. Does David Teruel pit too? No, he doesn't. Teruel goes through, and Slayer into the pits. So Slayer and Tsudin both opting for the undercut in their each battle. Let's see whose idea was better. And there's a Simri, the pole setter, who is running on a two-stop strategy, pushing through. Interesting. Infamous knows that he just can let him go. Different strategy. Cannot lose too much of time fighting him, because he needs to fight against the undercut of Slayer. Slayer, who is 1 second behind Frenzy, so he's not being held up. Reasuddin, 5.7 seconds behind Infamous, so he is not held up likewise. In his strategy battle against David Teruel, is Teruel pitting? Yes, he is. With 70% of tire deck, that is heavily needed. So let's stay with Teruel here for a moment, and let's try and find out which strategy did work better. Behind him, Infamous into 2. So 2 strategy decisions ready. Reasuddin is already beyond. Reasuddin is already through. So David Teruel in second. Virtually. Infamous versus Slayer. Slayer is through 2, and Frenzy slipped through as well. Infamous just ahead of Aces versus Kings, but the Ace still needs a pit stop, while Infamous will try to go through. But in both the strategy battles, the undercut worked better. We're watching the scene here from Castor France, who is in 8th, running 12 laps already on his mediums. Cannot take too long for him that he will need a pit stop. 58, almost 60% of tire degradation for his front left. Let's stay with the driver who had the French flag, the tricolor on his car livery. He decided to go to a rather more darker green, a bit more dark green gold in his creation for this season. So Aces versus Kings, not in a bad race after what I still call a mistake in the quali. It looks like for him that for the first time in this year, there are points grabbable for him. He is one of 5 drivers who is still pointless. He plus Jimmy O, Laurentio, Gold Pickle and Royal Harvey. Jimmy O inactive, Royal Harvey already out, Golden Pickle inactive, Laurentio inactive. So he would be the only one making up points. And that could be a very good and important thing to have in the battle of relegation towards the end of the season. And we have seen Infamous, who has pushed ahead of Frenzy here in the long DRS zone. Frenzy still on his starting tires, 16 laps on the hards. It's not a problem, but he needs to have a pit stop soon too, I would like to say. Okay, he did not turn his telemetry public. Sadly, cannot tell about his tire degradation situation. Oh, and yellow, something happened. Oh yes, something big happened. Chris Tam and Lando Bot had some coming together there, I suppose. Chris Tam having a little bit of front wing damage, not much, but a little bit, once again. So definitely not a race in Tam's direction. Still chasing the bot here. While we see this battle, Aces versus Kings pushing through against Frenzy likewise. Frenzy lost another position there. And maybe another one soon. Castor France already pushing. Castor France is on 70% of tire deg on his mediums, so he'll need another pit stop very soon. But I think it's still slightly too early to stop for mediums again. Let's see if he will pit now for hards or if he will try to make another 1 or 2 laps on these mediums and then turn in for another set of medium. New fastest lap time for Riyad Sudin. He is pushing. He's 3.7 seconds away from SimV, but he cannot run too hard on his hards. He needs to finish the race on this compound. SimV still in need of a pit stop. Castor France will stay out for at least one more lap. 73% of DAG now. And he is easily through. Looks like he would be able to run in circles around Frenzy. Let's have a short look about the telemetry, if there is anything important. Riyad Sudinson has a lot of ERS load, so he can work the overtake button. Nothing else of importance. No driver in a minus about excess fuel. No driver having a big load still left, so more or less same situation for everyone. And Simvi is in. Simvi into the pits. Rayazudin has acquired the lead very easily, and as long as he doesn't commit the mistake, I suppose that Zudin will not give it away again. 7.5 seconds his cushion to David De Joel. The question now is, how far will Simvi drop back? He's already on the pit exit. P3. P3, 5 seconds almost ahead of Slayer. 4.5. Backed up due to some Slayer penalties. We will have a look about the penalty seconds in just a moment. And Simvi, 9.7 seconds now, the gap to David De Joel. So I suppose that this is already it. This is already his final position if he doesn't throw it away. So podium is possible, but yeah, if you start on the pole, it's not what you hope to do, to finish in third then in the end. But there was just nothing else he could do. There wasn't a mistake from him. It's just the race, and there wasn't safety car phase in his favor. So that's just his fate now in this race. Casto France needs to pit now. Casto France over 80% of tire drag, so the front left is about to burst in any minute. 13 laps left in the race, so that is duration you can run on mediums, and it doesn't stop again. I already see a puncture coming. %, tire drag front left. This is one of the vicious points on the whole track for the front left tire, but he made it through it once again here too. I'm not sure what he's waiting for. I mean, we have 12 laps remaining. That's easily done on mediums. That is a possible duration. Chris Tam is out. Chris Tam is out. Chris Tam has retired in the pits. Chris Tam parked his blue car in the pits. That is very sad. I was so hoping for the battle between him and Rayazudin, and we just haven't seen them close to each other since turn 1 in the whole race. Turn 1 in lap 1. Casto France, 85% of tire drag. Let's see what's happening first. Him turning to the pits, or the tire just blow up. He now makes his way to the pits. Finally. That was risky. That was really risky. As I mentioned, I don't know what he was waiting for so long. 19 laps. He was waiting to run the end on softs. I see dark clouds over the Casto France car. He could have easily finished the race on mediums, but I don't think that he can make it on softs for the remaining 11.5 laps. I've not seen any driver in this race just come close to anything close to an 11 lap stint on softs. Yeah. Risky, isn't it? But you never know if you don't have a go. So let's just wait and see what's in for Casto in his final stint. There is no driver in anyone else's DRS window at the moment. We did not see a safety car, just I think 2 very short VSCs. and as a result of that, the field is stretched away of each other very, very far. Let's see if there's even one who's lapped. Not yet. Bellox is 10 seconds away of getting lapped. So let's browse through the field for a moment. We start, of course, with this man, P1 Reazurin. Very silent race, but it's just because a very errorless race, so perfectly driving for him thus far. In second, David DHL, almost same goes for him, I would like to say. In third, Simwi, good race too, but just the far worse strategy due to the fact that he had to start on softs. Fourth is then Slayer, who had to fight a lot already, and the only driver who is granted DRS is just Mr. Infamous, and this is the battle again. We've seen red versus yellow already a few times in this season, a few times even in just this race, and this battle is about to loom again. In sixth, then Aces versus Kings. Good race after mediocre qualifying. Important points for him in the cellar of the table. Seventh, Serious Mushroom. 8th, Landabot, but still in need of a pit stop, and Infamous is out! Oh no, there he is. Let's see, can we see it again? Let's see if Serious Mushroom can bring us there. Before the marshals get rid of the car, there is the wrecked car of Infamous. This is one of the points I was talking about. One of the points where you can lose your car so easily, where the rear is very light. And Infamous got caught out. Infamous chasing Slayer, trying to get closer. The only driver who was in the DRS window. He was trying to get himself into a position where he could attack him in the next DRS zone. And in the end he was too fast and then lost it there. Yeah, that's very sad, very sad. So I was at Landabot, who is now in 7th, of course. Still need a pit stop. Oh, the Ace is in. Second pit stop for Ace and another pit stop Landabot. There it is, Landabot. I was wondering when he'll come in. There it is. Now he has 8 laps, maybe 9 laps left in this race. That is a makeable duration for the softs. Unlike Casto France, let's have a look. Casto is 6. Casto France has already 25% of tire drag after just 3 laps. Oof. With these figures incoming, I still do not think that Casto can make it through the race. It was a risk he was willing to take. And let's just see how things will go down the wire then. We have just 11 drivers left, so only Bellox. Bellox is the only one, the only lucky guy who would not be given a point at the moment. But for the moment, now let's have a look at the penalty situation. We see a handful of +3s for corner cutting being handed out. 6 seconds for David DHL, and Simwi is just 6.5 seconds behind him. Simwi even on the better tire, so that gap is maybe melting, and Simwi could make it even onto P2 with this way maybe. Slayer with a +3, that does not do anything on the big gap he has now. 9 seconds for Casto France. That will make him rank backwards. The Ace, Serious Mushroom, Simvi, and Rayatsurin, the only drivers who are not being given a penalty. Frenzy +6, Kunya, our host, 8. That means a +5 for speeding in the pit lane and 1 track limits penalty. Landabot 6 and Bellox 3 seconds. While Rayatsurin is getting closer to lapping Bellox very soon. You can see, not a big gap anymore. Casto France, 40% of deck, so his tires are halfway through. Still 5.5 laps remaining. Casto France just got another penalty onto his account, so it doesn't make things any easier for him. Well, we see blue flags, I suppose. Not yet, but very soon. For Bellox, the Ace. Aces versus Kings. Only driver in the DRS window here behind Casto. Yep, the rear wing slid open. Let's have a look into the telemetry tool. Casto France, 50% of tire drag. Aces versus Kings only has less than the half. So, yeah, this should work. Everything looks in favor of the Ace here. The penalty situation, the tire situation. Now the DRS situation. Here's the attack ahead of turn 1. And yes, he paved his way through. Not a big defense from Casto France anyway. He is close now, but not close enough to really fight back. I'm having a look into our telemetry again. Simwi is slightly in a minus excess fuel, so he needs to save a little bit in the late stages of this race. Simwi, who tried everything to get into the 6 seconds window to overtake David de Joel penalty-wise for second place in the end. But he got stuck somehow at 6.4 seconds, and the Ace almost threw his car away, wheel to wheel into the infield. That's a bit sad, but not too much. Here's DRS detection, so DRS will be given to the Ace again here on the long straight. Yes, it is. Casto France shows that this time he will fight a bit more for his position. Late attack. Wheel to wheel, turn 1, 2, 3 combination now in favor for the Ace. The Ace versus Kings. And he got it. Yes, he got it now. So let's stay with these two boys, the only driver who are really actually fighting for a position, even though it is already decided penalty-wise anyway. Yellow in sector 2, an orange car that can only be Landabot. We've just seen how or why Castro got so many penalty seconds with sliding over the track limits there in turn 10. And now Aces versus Kings is slowly moving away. Castro very, very harshly over the curbs. That did not do any favor for him. The Ace is far away. He was even out of the DRS detection there. And with 2.5 laps remaining, Castro France has 69% of tire deck. Well, if he made it over the race on 86% degraded mediums, he'll do the same here right now. And Lando Bot has retired. Lando Bot parking his car in the garage. For some reason he was angry about what happened, about the bad race, but well, he just needed to finish and he would have been given 1 or 2 points automatically. So retiring just 2 laps before the end of the race with 2 points in your hands potentially, not a good thing. No matter how angry you are, but do not throw away a point or 2. Castro France still chasing the Ace in the DRS window here in the penultimate lap. But you see the penalty situation, so this will be solved in the Ace's advantage anyway in the end. 76 now, tire deck for Castro. Still 1 more lap after this one to go for him. While Reatsudin is in the last lap. Tire degradation over 60% too for the top 2 runners. David Tejoel and Reatsudin almost parallelly. So the big thing to watch for the moment is, of course, when Reatsudin snatches the first victory of the season, and of course, what does Simvi do? He needs to be under the 6 seconds mark to be ranked into second over David Tejoel. But I had one eye on this gap and he never was under the 6 seconds mark the whole last 5, 7, 10 laps. And it looks like frozen. Now he's maybe under it. Is he? Now he is. He was for a glimpse at 5.9 seconds. This will be viciously close, intensely close in the end. But for the moment, we look at this man. Congratulations to the first victory, first race, first victory. Reatsudin. Second then, the big question, David Tejoel. 6 seconds of penalty. Now Simvi is under 5.8, 5.9, 6 again. Over 6 again, 6.1, 6.2. And it is in favor of David Tejoel in the end. Very close, very, very close in the end. So, by 1.5 seconds in the end because Simvi lifted. So actually it was just a 10th or 2 that they were separated after the penalties. 4th then in the end, valuable points for Slayer, 12 points, making the gap shrink a lot, almost to 0, but just almost, to our overall leader, who will stay the leader, BMC, because official DNF'd. Serious Mushroom, 5th, valuable points for him too. Aces versus Kings, first points of the season, a whole lot of 8. Dean Cunha, a lot of points for him too. Frenzy, Casto France will be ranked back to. No, he will not be ranked back. So Casto France, 17 seconds of penalty. He made it in the end. He made it through the race. Let's have a look into the telemetry tool. Casto France, he was in the pits again. My goodness, he had another stop for softs. He finished the race on 7% degradation tires. So he definitely needed another stop. Driver of the day is Serious Mushroom. By the decision of the game, the winner stands from Real Turin, what we've seen so often in Tier 2 last year. And the virtual champagne, well deserved for every one of these drivers. And here's the final result after the penalties. Real Turin has won ahead of WTL and Simwi finished third. Fourth goes to Slayer, fifth Serious Mushrooms, 6 Aces vs Kings, Frenzy in 7, Dean Cunha 8th, Casto France 9, and 10th, the last point, the last official finisher was Bellox. P11 still classified is Landebot, then not finished is Infamous, Christam, Chappie, Birthday Boy, Official, and Royal Harvey. So this was it. The last time broadcasting from Barcelona, at least the last time in this game. We have, 2 more races together. 2 more races that I will be part of L2S, at least how things stand right now. This may change, we will see. But by the looks of things right now, I will still be with L2S for the race in Azerbaijan next week, and afterwards, the week after, in Le Castellet in France. Thanks for being with me. I am Sepp Bauer. It was a pleasure to bring this race home to your living room. I hope you will have a nice evening. Have a nice weekend upcoming very soon. And stay safe in these times. And keep racing.